In this video, I'm going to show you how to check the connections on the LCD screen of the HVR-Z7U camcorder. So the tool you'll need is just a Phillips screwdriver. That's a star head. A very small one will do. And to get the casing off this screen here, we have to open it up like this. And there's two screws on the sides here, and they're hidden just by this part right here. So we're just going to flip this up, and you can get to a screw here. So we'll take that out. So one screw out, and flip it all the way upside down. The screw is on the side here. Take that one out too. Alright, that one's out too. Now we take this cover off. On the side of this cover, on the left hand side here, there's two plastic clips. So you don't want to just grab it and pull it off, because that will break the clips. So you have to kind of slide it off towards that side. And there's two more clips on the edges here. One here and one here. So you just got to slide a fingernail under there just to get those off a bit. They're really not on that strong. There we go. So once that has a crack here, you can just kind of wiggle this towards the left side to get those two plastic clips off without breaking them. And there we go. So you see here there's two plastic clips. You don't want to break those. Otherwise this part won't hold on very well anymore. And I can show you here the slots that those plastic clips go into. So there's two slots, one here and one here. So be careful for that. So now we're inside the screen. So I have this flipped all the way around. We'll go around the other way. So we're inside the screen here, and this is the connector that goes inside the camera. These two connectors go to the screen, and the other little connector here goes to the backlight that lights up the screen. So we're just going to verify this connection here, and you should probably verify these ones too to make sure they're all solid. So what we're going to do is there's two more screws again on this side. Now that we've taken this case off, this cover covers up, this cover here covers up two more screws behind it. So those screws are actually under here on each side of this screen again. There's another one there. And once we take those off, we'll be able to take off this whole section. The entire screen will come off. So we'll take those screws off. Alright, now I got it. They're the same size screws as the other one you took out, so don't have to worry about getting them all mixed up. Flip it around this way again. Alright. So once you get those two out, that's all for screws. Now this whole thing will come off. So I'm going to put it back on its back, like this, all the way around. Now it can't turn anymore. Okay. So now this whole panel will come off completely, like this, and the only thing holding it on now is this connector here that goes inside the camera. So we're just going to gently take that off, like this, and there we go. So this cable has a natural tension on it. I'm just going to let it go, and when I do, it wants to go around this way, and this is upside down. So to know if this cable is in the right place or not, when you plug it in, you should have some tension this way if you go around, and it should want to pop back. And you should have some tension this way around, and it's going to want to pop back again as well. So it's in its natural position here upside down. So you're going to want to make sure also that all these little wires here are not damaged, and that nothing is broken or there's no little wires that are cut. Another thing you want to check is the screen itself. You want to make sure these cables here are all plugged in nice and solid. So you can just tug on them with a screwdriver like this just to see and make sure they don't pop out of their connectors. Like that. Make sure they're nice and snug. If they do pop out, or if they're loose, what you can do is you can lift up these little black bars here. These pop open carefully, and this will come out completely. And you want to slide it back in again. And once you do, you close the little bar here carefully. They're very fragile, so make sure you don't want to break them. And that's it for checking those two connectors. And this one's a little bit different. This one slides on each side. So if this one comes out, or if you want to take it out and put it back in again, you just got to open it up on each side. Carefully again. Like that. And it will slide right out. And when you put it back in, make sure it's in there firmly, and just push on each side again until the connector is back to the proper position here. So that's for checking these three connections here. And that covers it for checking this one as well. So like I said, this has tension on each side, so I can just let it flip back to where it was, and I know it goes here. So I'm going to put it back on. Another thing you want to check probably is this connector here. You're going to want to make sure this connector isn't cracked or broken, and you want to make sure all the little pins inside aren't bent or stuff like that too. That could be another problem. So, put it back on. Just plug this in here again. Carefully and gently. Push it back in, make sure the connection's nice and solid. This goes on like this. Back underneath this metal brace here. And then we can put our screws back in. So we just do the opposite. Put that there. Grab a screw. Don't think I quite have it in the right position here. Just gonna make sure. All right. So bring that back here. There we go. Got it this time. Try the other way. And now that part's done. Now we just got to put the little casing back on. Don't forget about the two plastic clips here. You want to put those in first on the side. So be careful. You can put these down a bit maybe on each side. And there we go. That goes back on. Put our two screws in. Now we test. So we'll test it right from the start. Open up our screen. You can see here it's working okay. I think the shutter's closed. There we go. So flip it around. This way. This way. And we're going to want to make sure that it flips upside down to make sure it's the right orientation on this side. When you flip it upside down, you're going to want to make sure that it flips properly and that there's no loose connection there. And there we go. This one's working just fine. Of course, it was working fine before. And that's it. Thank you very much.